to actualize any of your dreams, you have to be alive. You have to be alive. So, good afternoon. Welcome to Grow Your Wealth with Real Estate Show, powered by Think Means Nigeria. Yes, today is important. Today is special. Today is going to be wonderful. And you are going to thank God for being here. All right. So today we're going to be talking about something important. Is it time for caution? Is it time for new innovation, or is it time for new opportunities in the real estate world? Trust us on Think Make Nigeria. We always get you the best of the very best. Yes, people in this sector to tell you what is going on, all you need to know, and how you should be instructed when it comes to making the right decisions in the real estate world. So, right before I start, I really like to recognize the presence of an amiable woman, a goal-getter, a woman of substance. She's diligent, she's committed, she's wonderful, and she believes in value and excellence. She and our team at Think Make Nigeria are doing a great job of playing great advisory roles for anyone and everyone who wants to buy or invest in real estate. I'm talking about the senior partner of Think Mint Nigeria. Woo! Imelda Busara Alawi. Welcome, ma'am. So if you're just joining us for the very first time, IBG, once again, welcome to the Grow Your Wealth Show, where you're going to learn and unlearn a lot of things. Now let's move forward today. I want to introduce you to our guest speaker for today. Is a very experienced man. And when I talk about experience, I mean somebody who's, seen it all, been there and done that. And you can be sure that today he will be giving you very good advice when it comes to the do's and don'ts of real estate. Our guest speaker for today is a senior partner for Bamigbola Consulting, a firm he created in 2008 with the aim of adding value to players and partners in the real estate sector. Made up of great estate surveyors, valuers, and chartered surveyors, Bamigbola Consulting set itself apart by servicing clients with unique skills in areas like land and building valuation, facility and property management, feasibility and viability appraisal, and also real estate advisory services. In June 2019, it became the chairman executive committee of the Nigerian Institute of Estate Surveyors and Valuers, a non-profit voluntary professional association set up in 1969 to cater for the interest of the landed profession in Nigeria. Yes, through his brilliance, he also initiated projects and programs such as the development and commissioning of the first real estate library in the institution. He also published the first Lagos Property Market Consensus Report for the use of members so that they can have an industrial guide on property value, rentals, and yield. Wow, nice. The CEO of Bamigbola Consulting also founded the Young and Passionate Estate Surveyors and Valuers YPESV initiative in a bid to mentor and engage young and upcoming professional colleagues. Now, the list of what is done is endless, but I'm just going to read some of that so that we can get on with the conversation today. I'm sure that you're itching to meet with this man. So he's been able to reconstruct the secretariat operations in the Lagos branch. Is been able to make strategic partnership and engagement with public service through ministries and agencies for wider recognition. He also organized the Real Estate Professional Summit, which was on an annual basis. It kickstarted when he became the chairman subcommittee for the Nigerian Institute of Estate Surveyors. He also championed the 50th anniversary celebration of the Lagos branch, in addition to organizing the 14th edition of the NIESV Honor Night. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our guest speaker on the Grow Your Wealth show for today, speaking on, is it time for new innovation, or is it time for opportunities or caution in the Nigerian real estate sector? Welcome with me, Mr. Adedotu Bamigbola. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. I didn't know you were following us like that, but well, I'm really humbled by the introduction. Thank you very much.
It's good to have you here. It's good to see you, and it's good to have you here. So, are you ready for the trailblazer questions that we have for you?
Well, that's why I'm here.
Are you ready for us?
I'm ready.
Good. All right, so I want to welcome everyone once again to the Grow Your Wealth show. I said it and I'll say it again. This is the place to be if you need to know what is obtainable in real estate. If you don't want to cry hot tears, when you make all those wrong decisions, I say, oh, I didn't know they were real. You need to be here. And every time right here on Think Made Nigeria, we give it to you real, we give it to you hot, and we help you. Yeah. Our business is to help you and add value to you. So today, let's talk to Mr. Bamigbola, shall we? Our first question is about Nigeria. Nigeria. You know, Nigeria is a middle-income country with an emerging market. We have a mixed economy, yes. In areas of communication, technology, finance, manufacturing, production, we have evolved. In fact, we are the best, and we're doing good. But would you say that the real estate sector is taking over in terms of expansion and impact, like all these other sectors that we just mentioned?
Well, thank you very much for that question. Should I say the real estate sector is taking over? Well, I won't say it's a takeover. I'll say there are opportunities that can be utilized by the sector to compete favorably in the economic sector, in the economic space with other economies. As you all know, even the real estate sector is greatly impacted as we are growing as an economy by technology, ICT. And that seems to be a space that has gone very, very far, very well. We are still behind anyway, if you compare us as an economy, as a country to the Western world and even in Asia, particularly India and the likes. But that ICT sector of our economy is growing very fast. You have fintech now, you have AI coming in, you have prop tech already taking over the space. So many things that are already advancing and one way or the other already impacting our own, the real estate sector internationally and also locally. So that sector seems to be in the driver's seat. The opportunity there is that the real estate sector can catch up with this ICT and also take advantage of the benefits, the space there, because the space in information technology is actually, as it is now, virtually practically limitless. So we can do a catch-up. We have to do a catch-up because that's the direction in which the world and the economy is going.
Beautiful. We have to do a catch-up in the world of real estate to technology, which is expanding, moving so fast and breaking frontiers. Thank you very much for that. So for the next question, if we want a greater Nigeria, the government, some people say that the government needs to foster more interaction between the private sector and the state civil society. But when you look at the private sector, you see a lot more of the Nigerian real estate players in the Nigerian real estate sector in this private in the private line, they are the ones that are doing the job. So based on this, what role do you think that real estate needs to play, for a greater Nigeria? What role do you think real estate should be playing right now?
Well, I'll say that all over the world, the greatest resource, apart from human capital for any economy, for any people, is the land assets. And that is very clear. It's well known. Everybody sees it because everything you do, either you live, you work, even when you pass away, is on land. And so land is very, very important. And that's why it is something that plays a lot of important role in any economy, in any society. Now, the challenge we have is that there are a lot of responsibilities in the hands of government. We are still a government-dependent economy.
Okay. Mr. Bambola is okay. His last words were to say that Nigeria, the real estate sector is fully government.
Sorry, I went off briefly.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry, went off briefly.
We can hear you now. We're still a government-dependent economy.
Meaning that government controls quite a lot of things in this economy, unlike the Western world where you have the free market in a number of things. The players in the industry actually do handle most of they are self-regulated. But as it is now, for example, CBN 2 days ago stopped the selling of forex to BDCs, and that impact is because everything is regulated under government. Yes, government can come with regulation, but the regulation, and I'm not faulting the what CBN has done, but what I'm trying to say is that the effect of that is actually very, very huge on funding right now. And the same thing, government handles registration of title. So whatever government does has a lot of impact on how even the private sector will function and how we can leverage on the benefits and opportunities you have in real estate. Now, let me just play a scenario. Let's assume that you can have your registered in 48 hours. Let's even say a week, 7 days in this country. I'm sure a lot of people will be able to convert the value chain that you can derive from a registered title for funding business, for funding your home ownership with greater ease than what we have now. And unfortunately, a lot of these regulations are not together. You have them, you have to go and do when you're in the land registry, you have to be talking about your tax issues, because either the LRS or the Federal Inland Revenue Service, all of them have to have one way or the other, be sure that you are paying this or that. So the chain is quite broken into several parts. So that is denying the real estate sector the kind of opportunities it can have in promoting the Nigerian economy. If you are building a property today, if you know the quantum of people that can benefit from it, the list of professionals from the estate surveyors and valuers to the architects to the QS, the electrical engineer, the structural engineer, the builder, and look at all the artisans that will be around it. In actual fact, in any building project, there's no way you can have less than 50 people working on it, because you have even apart from the artisans, you have quite a number of other people that even come to do their normal trade, one of the building material supplier. And that's another issue where we have problem in this country, because I've always advocated for it. We need to have local content in our building material industry. We can't afford to be importing. If what we do alone is even having raw materials, building materials for our construction industry in Nigeria alone, maybe like 80, 90%, and you don't have to import all the tiles, all the sanitary fittings, in some cases, the roofing materials and other finishing. You don't have to import that. A lot of export will be going out to even the other parts of Africa, and then we'll be able to generate foreign exchange, and we'll be able to have a better economy. And that's a bandwagon effect you can get from even building construction. And similarly for some other parts of the economy like agriculture and all that. But the construction industry has not witnessed the kind of support which
Mr. Bami Bola there talking about the challenges in the world, in the Nigerian real estate sector. Is talking about government dependency and the fact that the real estate sector depends on the government for almost everything, and there are stiff regulations which are not allowing for that sector to be all that it can be. It's also stated that we need to have local content so that we can start exporting it to other parts of Africa, and that the construction industry could be more if it's generating its own products. Beautiful, beautiful. That's the chairman of the Nigerian Estate Surveyors, Mr. Adedotun Bamgbola, speaking to us about the opportunities, innovation, and caution. Is it time for all of that in the real estate sector now in Nigeria? If you're just joining us, you are watching the Grow Your Wealth show on Think Mint Nigeria. Today, you are going to get a lot of loaded information. So just sit still. If you're just joining us, sit still. I promise you, you will not regret it. Mr. Bamgbola, thank you for joining us again. Where you're having a little problem with your internet, but thank God you're back. You were talking about the construction industry and
yes.
The need for more, for us to be able to generate our own local content. What we use in construction, we should be able to make it, right? Like our cement, our bricks, and all of that. I thought we're already having that, isn't it? Please go ahead.
What you need to understand is that there is, even with the cement, there's complaint that there is need for better competition in the market, because it seems that the fact that there's a sort of monopoly by key industries, you find out that they control the price and all of that. But even brick making, beautiful. But the key components that actually make the house livable, the finishing materials, the sanitary tiles, except cabling, and even the fact that Nigerian cable is considered one of the best in the world, you still find out that we just have that conscience for saying, wait, I have to import everything, and I have to point out that this my house, is imported, and also all sorts of things. So you understand that also impacts the economy, because right now what the CBN is, the next step our economy should be taking is that, look, we should be producing so that we can export. If we have a large enough market of 200 million people, and we're even producing just for that 200 million people, that there's no reason for it for me to go outside there and say that, look, I need US dollar or whatever. So, that reduces my exchange rates in a way. It's a long distance approach, but there's no better time for us to start following that step if we are indeed serious about it than now. So real estate has a key role to play. Like I said, land, apart from human resources, I always try to put that in, is the greatest resource any community, any society can have, any economy can have. And with that, it means we have to put a lot into this particular sector. It's not just regulating the business end or the exit end, where you're saying disposal, sales, and leasing, which I know the Lagos State government is trying to do through its agency now. But the actual thing is encouraging production, making it possible. The fact that there's no electricity is denying some people there's limited electricity. Let me not say there's no electricity. It's denying some industry from producing, and it's cuts across. It's not just real estate. The sanitary ware producer, the tile producer, they use electricity. By the time they have to use generator and pay for diesel at so rate, that automatically increases the cost of production. What of the regulation in terms of registration for you to even be able to produce? Even for the investors, the process you go through for you to get an approval for you to do that building that you are planning on takes a lot of time and processes. And even though some parts of the government have tried to have a niche for themselves and say that, look, we're trying to do this seamlessly online, it takes 30 days. In other clients, it doesn't have to take 30 days. It takes like 7 days, and they move on. And even if it has to take 30 days, what are the milestones you achieve between what time and what time? What can delay it? There are a lot of gaps in it. There are a lot of things that actually make it look like you are climbing a mountain for you to achieve what should actually benefit the economy and the people. So those are things that government has to look at. And you can sit down with, I always advocate about sitting down with the professionals. Don't, even if you have professionals amongst you who are working with you, call the practitioners, those who are practitioners, call the institutions, sit down with them, have a working arrangement to ensure that these things, yes, government needs to generate revenue, but you can generate more revenue when you have a working system, and the people will be happy. Even if you sit down with these professionals, these institutions who are professional institutions, and even the players in the industry, I sit down with them and all agree that for you to get a building plan approval is 1 year. You look at it, everybody agrees that it is. Nobody's going to complain because you've already seen the reason why it should be 1 year. But if you can see the reason why it should be done in 2 days or 1 week, and you follow that path, fine, better. But if you have to impose it and look, it must be 30 days, and you can't achieve it in 30 days. 30 days becomes 6 months, and that's an issue, because each time you are delaying the takeoff of a particular project, you are delaying income, you are delaying the benefits of job creation, you are delaying so many things along that value chain.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Bamigbola. This is a wealth of knowledge. You just talked about the time frame, which is rendering a restriction in terms of delivery and excellence, and causing so much havoc. We just hope that by the grace of God, the government will do better. By God's grace, soon enough. Now, let's look at innovation, because today we're talking. Innovation is one of the factors that we want to look at in the Nigerian real estate sector. And you've been talking about all this. I think you've talked about tech. You've talked about time frame. You talked about all the stiff regulations and government. Now let's look at what's the solution. You've talked about some of the solutions, but now let's look in the innovative line in the real estate sector. What are the key factors we need to adapt, adopt, and initiate to make things better? Because of course, I think you've mentioned time frame and exporting, begin to produce our own local content in terms of, construction. But what in terms of innovation, what are other things we need to adapt, adopt, and initiate?
Well, I want to give kudos to a number of developers in the industry for some of the initiatives that have been taken in terms of ensuring housing delivery at a manageable cost to the end users and investors, and also looking at the shape of the family. Because if you look at it, in the past, you used to have families of 6, you want to build 5-bedroom detached house or semi-detached houses and all that. But if you look at the family size, especially in the South here, is getting smaller. Most people are looking at having just 2 children. Someone said that before, one of my pastors said that before you go for your marriage, now you might have to go to the school where you want your children to attend and find out how much is the school fees, so that you can know whether you have enough to have 2 or 3 children. So
important. Yeah.
The space, the residential space available for sale out there in most cases now, especially if you look along Lekki axis, is being restricted, is going towards the apartment types, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, 1-bedroom apartment, and all that, lofts and all that. And I think it's innovative in itself, and it may be a driver and a way to allow the younger, low or upcoming, younger middle-income earners to have access to funding. Another thing which is applicable in other clients, which we have not done here in terms of funding mortgage, is most of mortgages are channeled through funds from pension funds, especially in the US. But in Nigeria, the pension fund is skewed. The administration of pension fund is skewed mainly towards the financial sector, and it's only maybe closed pension funds players that can actually use quite a sizable percentage of their funding to run real estate investments. Well, there are a few things that are happening, but they just need to happen on the large scale. So the apartment types, one of the things that we should be looking at is that we should have building that fits to the people, not building that should just be grandeur. If you look in the market, most of the buildings that you see that maybe the Honorable Minister for Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, SAN, has more like look, these buildings are vacant. Most of them are actually the high-end buildings that are vacant, the luxury ones. But if you look at the apartment types, they are actually available for quite a number of people. It's now about affordability. And of course, with the level of income generation, if the lowest income earner in Nigeria, according to the minimum wage, earns 30,000 naira per month, I don't know where that person is going to get property. With the increasing or the depreciation of the naira going on almost on a daily basis now, those people are not thinking of how to get houses. So one of the things government can do for that class of people is, look, let's be innovative about creating accommodation units for these people that they can lease. In the UK, this would be something like a council apartment. We can look in that direction, and so that will help us solve some of our housing problems in that regard. Ensure that these people can take a lease, a one-year lease, it's monthly, if it's quarterly, whatever you want to structure for them. If government is involved, I mean, it's going to be easier to say that the rental for this particular apartment should be monthly. It makes it easier because it's a community, local government by local government. You can say, look, there's land for developers. You want to develop, but give me in your development, we are giving you this land as part of our equity, but this is what you do for us in contributing, developing that on local government basis. Each local government in any area where you're providing the land, please develop 24 apartments for us, vertical development, and that you lease out to maybe people you can call indigents in some cases, because we do say that in this part of the world. So look, that solves the housing problem of some of those people, because I don't expect that person earning 30,000 naira per month to be, that's even a bag, it can't even buy a bag of rice the way I hear it these days. So, I mean, so that kind of person can pay a monthly rent in that place because that apartment belongs to the local government. And that reduces the pressure on the entire economy. You won't be forcing someone who is taking loan at 23% interest rate to say that you must pay, you must lease out the property. In fact, that person wants to say, doesn't want to take a lease. I mean, or even if I take my retirement money and I say, I need to recoup back that money. Because when you have retired, you are looking at to recoup back your money and be able to enjoy the rest of your life. But when you are not say subjecting that person to say, look, there must be a legislation. Everything is not by legislation. Oh, it must be 1 month. Some of those things requires government thinking beyond imposing or enforcing, what should be based on an economic platform on the people, because they're investors. Investors at the end of the day want returns. And it's how best they can get the returns. So there are a number of things that can be done. We may not be able to exhaust them today. I've also, like you said, I've mentioned the issue of building material, local production of building materials. And this can be done. You can create an environment for them. If you put a power station in a place and you say that for the next 5 years, all producers of tiles, of sanitary wares, and some other components, electrical fittings, should come to this area. Government is doing an intervention, and you can pay us in 3 years' time for, you can start paying your taxes in 3 years' time, but for this period, do this, but regularize your business. We're going to monitor your business. You see that it will help. If you do that on a state-by-state basis, it will help in reducing our cost of delivering houses. So many things that the government can do and can work with the private sector to do some of these things. And these are things we can adopt that are even playing out in other climes. And it will help make our system evolve better.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bamigbola. Oh my God, you're I don't want to say you're opening up a kind of worms, because there's so much that I'm sure people listening do not know that you're just, you're throwing lights. And thank you for that. Now for our next question, I'm going to take a cue from where you mentioned the case of the Nigerian who's getting 30,000 naira as salary, and how is that person supposed to even pay house rent? So if the government says, oh, I have a block of flats, pay per month, maybe pay 5,000 or pay 10,000 per month, to be so easy on that person. I mean, that's beautiful. Now, taking a cue from that, in 2019, the NBS said the rate of unemployment in Nigeria alone was 21.1%, and the underemployment rate was 16.6%. Now, I sometimes we had that, oh, the real estate sector in Nigeria is growing, so much. They're making the billions of naira annually and all of that. So do you think that the real estate sector has the capacity to make a difference, in this problem of unemployment in Nigeria? Do you think there's a space to make a difference and help reduce the rate of unemployment from the real estate sector?
Well, thank you very much for that question. Like I said at the beginning, there are opportunities. In fact, the largest room around is the room for opportunity for growth. The real estate sector has, for whatever it is worth, we still know that we have a high housing deficit. And just housing. You also have infrastructure deficits. If you don't agree to one, you agree to the other. It's a deficit because we have decaying infrastructure. And this is closely related to real estate. Now, with that challenge, you know that there are so many unskilled players, even in the real estate sector, so many unskilled players as we speak now. And if you already have unskilled players in that industry, it shows that you don't have a manpower among the skills that is not adequate to even service the economy. That is the reason why those who are unskilled can come in as the low-hanging fruits at the lower hub, where they can, come in, make some money and move on. At times, you find out that almost on every street, almost every driver, almost every vulcanizer is an estate agent. I mean, so you wondering that carpenter, real estate, engineer, real estate, lawyer, real estate, everybody real estate. It means that there's space. Yeah, so there's a gap to be filled. And it also shows that the government is not even enforcing the regulation it has. For example, for practice of key real estate professions, like as an estate surveyor, you have to be registered with the Estate Surveyors and Valuers Registration Board of Nigeria. But there are a lot of people practicing real estate who are not even dabbling into all that, because they have a way they can go about their business without anybody even knowing that they are flying under the radar. So it shows that there's a lot that can be done to solve the unemployment issues in real estate. Key things that, and there's a chain that should be done. I mean, when I was talking about development of council houses and also in material production sector area, when I was talking about that it can be done on a state-by-state basis, what stops the government, in conjunction with the professionals, from setting up training institutes for artisans? What stops you from doing that? It solves that problem, and you bring a lot of people into the fold. And you can even insist that, okay, for those council buildings or whatever you want to call them, please, the artisans you use must be those from Nigeria who have been trained here. The materials you use must be from this particular place. Don't go and import anything for us. And that reduces your burden. By so doing, you are limiting the unemployment challenges you are having. You are also at the same time solving your problem in terms of building construction materials, and you are regulating the entire value chain. And government will earn money at the end of the day. I mean, those are things we can look at. Like I said, the evidence that real estate can solve a lot of problems in terms of unemployment is just clear. There are a lot of unskilled labor, unskilled manpower in the sector that are not being regulated. I can almost say that on a daily basis, people are joining this sector for one or the other, and it's just that you'll be distinguished by your skills, your capacity, and what you are. But the challenges are there and the opportunities.
Wow. So what you're saying is that there needs to be structure to harness profit, productivity, and the kind of delivery that we want and the kind of result that we want. We need structure in the real estate world. Thank you so much, in the Nigerian real estate sector. So once again, I want to say welcome once again to the Grow Your Wealth show. If you're there and you're listening to us, you must be learning a lot. Don't worry, we'll soon talk what concern you. This one's about Nigeria, but we want to be personal because we know that a lot of people have their own needs and they must have their own questions and the things that they want answered. Now, our next question. We say that real estate is profitable for a lot of people who know what to do. You know, there's an adage that says, "And more way, no more way." You know, we used to say that in school, like if you know, and you were you were talking about that. So profitability for people who know what to do. So as the immediate past chairman of the Nigerian Institute of Estate Surveyors, I want you to use your wisdom to tell us what are the very many mistakes that people make that burn their fingers in real estate. I want to buy land. What are the easy mistakes you see every day that you say, don't you know? You know, I want to be a player. I want to invest in real estate. What are the do's and don'ts? What is the caution? What's the warning that you are going to be able to give these people based on your wealth of experience? We would like to have that.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me firstly make a little correction. It's very important about the name of my institution. It's the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers, not institute. So that my colleagues who are also joining me know that made that correction.
Institution of Estate Surveyors and
Estate Surveyors and Valuers. It is called institution. There are several institutes, but this one is institution.
Okay.
So that we'll have that corrected.
The main institution. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's a nice question. I think where a lot of people make the mistake from the onset is this: in hiring. I'll let you understand what I'm saying. Yes, okay. Because for example, if you want to develop a property, you won't go and do it yourself. You're not going to be the one to do the laying of the blocks. You're not going to do the ones to even search the title and some other things. But the basic mistake people do is in hiring which professional. And a lot of people, because like I said, there's a lot of unskilled labor in this industry now because the way we operate in this part of the world. And they just call anybody. I need land. You tell your driver. Your driver tells his brother. His brother is a carpenter. And at the end of the day, you get land somewhere. And that's the beginning of the problem. The land, is it titled? Is it located in an area where you can develop the kind of project or property you want to develop? Is it in conformity with town planning regulations for that area? If it's titled, what is the unexpired time on the title? Who owns it? That is just on the land alone. You have not even gone to the issue of employing the contractor. And by the time you even go to that, you know that one is another problem on its own. There are a lot of architects who are not architects. There are a lot of engineers who are not engineers. Everybody is an engineer. Even me, if I apply too much on site, I'll become an engineer. And you know, that is actually because you see someone saying that this is the right thing to do, either by way of experience because he has gone through it, and either certified or not. You say, oh, that's the engineer. You know, and that person may not know the right structure to put in place. And some people can employ anybody to draw anything, and some people just draw anything they like. At the end of the day, they may not get the drawing registered or approved, rather, the planning approval done. And when you don't get that done, you don't have material testing. Yeah, there are so many regulations, but it's always good to go through them and make sure that, yes, we know that we have the challenge of time frame and all that, but it is better done right than done wrong. Yes, it must be done on time, but it shouldn't be done wrongly. So, like I said, it starts from the hiring. Who do you hire as a professional for your projects, for your housing project, for your, well, it's only at the upper end when people are doing maybe massive apartments, even those doing estates these days, I mean, major estates, some of them don't even, because you want to cut corners, you feel that, oh, that's the professionals are going to cost you more. What is even the land value in property you are buying? Is that the actual value? Have you engaged a valuer? Have you engaged, you know, a land surveyor to give you the actual perimeter of that particular property? So a number of things are playing out when you say you are hiring the right person. Then you need to also go through the right profession. When you want to do a building project, get an estate surveyor, get the land surveyor. Let them tell you the right perimeter for that property. Are the coordinates right? Is it a coordinate that someone is flying for you? Is the land in the right place for the kind of development you want to do? Then also, what kind of development do you want to do? Because if you come to me as a real estate consultant, as a real estate surveyor and valuer, and you tell me I want to build a mansion in my village, I'll ask you, is it for prestige? I hope you are not using it for loan, or you are not trying to use it for rental, because that's your village. If you want to make money from it, please, there's another location where you should put the property where you want to make money from. In that location, is it residential you want to do? Is it commercial? Is it retail? So those are things that a professional will help you look at and guide you through. It's just like saying you want to go for an operation, but you don't want a doctor to treat you. You want the nurse, or not even the nurse. You can even say you want the radiologist to be the one to, I mean, I'm going too far. You can say that you want a carpenter or a lawyer to undo your medical condition. Get the right people who are trained in that area. It may look costly at the beginning, but for you to lose money, it's better you get the right people so that you don't lose money over the long term. Another thing is that when you build in the wrong place, that's where people lose a lot of their investments. Because when you build the wrong property in the wrong place, government can come at any time, or even a defective title, they can come at any time and they can say that, look, this property is not worth it. It's not, should not be here, and there will be demolition. That was what some people saw in Abuja at the time, because they used their power or their influence to, I mean, during the Obasanjo regime, there was a lot of demolition of buildings, but because people are used their influence to get properties, I like this location, it's next this one, you build it. The law and the regulations are there. Someone will come someday and say, can we go back to what it should be? And when that happens, you lose your investment, because in the first place, you're not meant to build there. So those are things that people should look at, and those are the things that the reason why you hire the right professionals to guide you. To, it may cost you a little more than getting anywhere, but in the long run, it's going to be a lifesaver, because you're not going to lose your investments. So that's a basic thing. Then, of course, a lot of people have to watch out for the type of materials that is being used, the properties that are being developed. That's why you have a lot of building collapse. You don't get the right personnel to handle the project, and you see column that should be straight is bent. You see beams where beams should be, they will avoid the beams, and all those things impact on the structure of the building. At the end of the day, when you put too much, there's a collapse, and you lose investment, and God help you if you don't lose life. And that has happened in the past. So, and if you have an approval for a property to be on 4 levels, don't go the 5th level. If you need to go to the 5th level, there will be something that will be reviewed. And there's even no need anyway, if you have built the maximum of the approval for that particular area. So a lot of things are involved, but the key thing is hire the right professionals, certified professionals who will advise you rightly, be it the architect, the estate surveyor and valuer, the land surveyor, the QS, get your costing right. So when you are going into it, you are not just stopping midway, you already know overall what you are going to expend and the time you are going to use and all that. So those are the things I would say would be a guide to you investing in real estate. I mean, when we put out the under my tenure, then we have a new chairman now, under my tenure then as chairman in the branch, the Lagos State branch of NAIFS, the idea was that look, people should have an, when we brought out the Lagos State Property Consensus Report, it was let people be able to say that I'm investing in this area, this is what I can get, this is the cost there, this is the rate of return and all that, or this is the yield I can have there. So that was one of the things driving it, because it will also help us as professionals, because we're coming collectively. We had about 178 of us putting heads together to probably bring up that report, and that was to help in that line. So investment in real estate requires a lot because it's capital intensive, but don't waste your capital. Do your homework properly. Yeah. I think you are mute. Your mic is mute. You have to put on your speaker. I can't hear you. You have to put on your speaker. The mic, rather.
Yes. Yes. I said one of the things that I got from what you said was hiring the right people when it comes to building or doing your project. Hire the right people, use the right materials. Yes, very, very important. I think we need to know what to do. If you want to build your house or you want to buy a land, don't just talk to the driver who then talks to the carpenter in his house. Make sure that you go to the right place to get the right information that you need, so that you're not, regretting at the end of the day. Now, Mr. Bangbola, you were a key player in the initiation of the Young and Passionate Estate Surveyors and Valuers, where you nurtured and engaged young and upcoming professional colleagues. Would you say that the youth have a fighting chance when it comes to using new innovation and techniques to expand the Nigerian real estate sector? I know that, there are a lot of key players in the sector who are doing wonderful things, and the ability to be able to transmit that wealth of knowledge to youth who can not only will they get the wealth of knowledge, but they will improve upon it and begin to break new frontiers. Would you say that that is happening right now? Because, you've had time to engage and mentor so many youths in your time as the chairman of NIES.
Well, yeah, thank you. I would say that the youths don't have a fighting chance. They have bullet chance. Nobody has chance like they do. They are the ones with the chance, because we are in the information technology world. So forget anything. If you are an old man or an elderly man, you have an old firm now, and you are not engaging the youth to come up and be part of it, you can be extinct in the next 5 years or 10 years if you even try. Because you have to bend backwards to learn what these guys already know. It's just that a lot of people are not taking advantage of, a lot of them are not taking advantage of the capacity of even their handheld phones. Because even with that, you can do a lot of things. I do a lot of things just with my phone, without even laptop. There's so many things I do with my phone only. And if you know the number of apps that are available for the youth to play with, and if they bring that into the markets, let's just take digital marketing alone, bring that into the market. God, everybody will have lost their chance, but these youths have the chance. They have the opportunity. In fact, the world is at their feet. They just need to, or let me say, in their hands. The world is in their hands. They just need to utilize it, take advantage. Because they're not footballers, so it's not at their feet. So they play with their hands. So the youth have a lot of opportunities, a lot of chances, and even the older generations have to learn from them. And that was one of the reasons why, by the grace of God, we initiated the Young and Passionate Estate Surveyors and Valuers project. Thankfully, the national body has also taken it up, and so we have it as a national body now. And we have our colleagues from Lagos here leading, being the chairman, as Ayodele, being the chairman of the national body, based on the experience he's been able to gather here. And you need to see a lot that they were able to bring up, because what I just did was that, look, this space is yours. You guys come together. Let's do this and play. And the story is there for everyone to see. They've been playing it, and I'm sure they're going to take it to a higher notch now. So it's more like allowing them to play on their own. So the youth have a lot of chance. They have a greater responsibility and opportunity to make impact in the real estate sector. Artificial intelligence, prop tech is clearly in their turf. It only requires them to take responsibility. It requires them to take responsibility. And one of the key areas where they can take responsibility, because you can say that, look, the youth don't have financial strength, but they have mental capacity. And if they can come together, it's indeed said that collaboration is the new competition. They can come together, collaborate, and which is what the elderly ones have to do. Find a way to collaborate with the youth so that, you can move forward. I want to say that the youth don't need to move. They don't need to go solo like most of us did. Either we're forced to do so or whatever. But now the opportunity is there. Collaborate, work together, form a team, and run your team with your practice, especially with various areas of specialization. Not just in my own area of real estate consultancy and advisory. I've seen young professionals coming together in construction. And I sort of say, I envy them, because I mean, they have opportunity to work together, they're working together, and it's gelling, it's working out. And, so many things that they can do. It just depends on key things. Take responsibility, and in taking responsibility, look at who can you collaborate with among the youth. If you can collaborate with the elder, fine. But if you feel you'll be more comfortable collaborating with people of your own age or thinking, come together, work together, create a vision, take responsibility for it, and achieve it. It's possible in the real estate sector. And those are the things we were driving at when we started the YPSV, to promote specialization and collaboration among the youth, so that they can indeed take charge, take responsibility of the market.
Wow, I love what you said. You said that youths do not have a fighting chance, they have a full chance. They have everything it takes to do more in the Nigerian real estate sector. You said the youths might not have financial strength, but they have mental capacity and they can collaborate. They don't have to go off on their own and start a business like you did and a lot of key players did. They can collaborate. And you made examples, in construction. You said that's what the youths are doing there, and they're doing great. So if you're out there, you're a youth and you want to go into the real estate sector, some people say that real estate is the new gold mine. Some people say real estate is the new crude. You want to go into the real estate sector, you want to make a mark. Why not take advantage of this advice from Mr. Adedotu Bamgbola and make your mark? Beautiful. Now, sir, we want to talk about your wealth of experience in the prolific matters of consultancy. In estate surveying, you've done so much. Yes, and that's why you were chosen as chairman. So for estate surveying, really, let's take that, out of the box. For estate surveying, as the past chairman, with your wealth of experience, please give us a list of do's and don'ts. Maybe there's a young man listening to you right now who wants to go into estate surveying, or maybe they say, okay, this man is an estate surveyor. Now that I'm building my house, what are the things I should not do when it comes to surveying, when it comes to valuing my property? So from your table, we want you to speak, widely on the do's and don'ts for everyone listening to you right now.
Well, thank you. Good enough. The estate surveyors and valuers, because they are registered under the Estate Surveying and Valuation, Estate Surveyors and Valuers Registration Board of Nigeria, which is a government agency, they are already the do's and don'ts for them in terms of the code of conduct, under which you practice. And aside that, one of the key things in the industry is integrity, and that is reliability in the long run. Your word is your bond, which is one of the key things, key core values of my own practice here. So the critical thing in real estate, in estate surveying practice, is based on the code of conduct, so which is a quite a good document. But just trying to take a leaf from, take a reference from that and mentioning key things that should be do's and don'ts for a practitioner. One of those things is you should know you are representing a client. And in representing that client, you have the responsibility not to act under any conflict of interest. In other words, even if you are my client, you want to sell a property, I have capacity, or I'm interested in property, or I have a friend or a relative that is interested in that property, I should do full disclosure to you. This person is from me. That person should actually be represented by another agent. Let that person get another agent. You, as representing your client, you represent your client fairly, and your client sees clearly that this person is represented by somebody else. It's not that me, I'm bringing my brother to come and do this. And it works very well, because in another case, if you can do it to one person, you can do it to it helps the other person to do it, because this is here it works. The other agents who might not even know about the property earns a fee from it. And so when the time comes for, if it falls on the other, if the table is turned, you are also bound to enjoy similar benefits. And that's one of the things that estate surveyors and valuers are encouraged to do by the dictates of our practice. You don't do, you're meant to avoid conflict of interest. That's very important. And one of the key things about our ethics, you don't do another person's job. For example, I shouldn't, even if I know and I trained on it in school to prepare BOQ, books of quantity, I shouldn't go and prepare it. It should be done by a QS. If my client says, look, and I do have some clients who say that, look, I'm consulting the whole process, everything to you. Okay, no problem. But I'm not going to do this, and I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be your land surveyor. I'm not going to be your QS. There are people who do that. I recommend them to you. You can work with them. No, I want you to work with them. You are the overall consultant. Okay, I know I have my responsibility on that, so I can now engage those ones on your behalf. And you have a full field feedback and all that. So I'm not doing somebody else's job. You know someone else who is certified, takes responsibility for that. Those are I mean, not to take much of our time, those are two key areas where I will say it's very important that people do overlook quite a number of things that we all know, but people do overlook that area, and it borders on integrity and avoiding conflict.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Bangbala. Now you've spoken about the practitioners. For instance, if I have gotten a land that I want to build, and I say, oh, I have to survey this land and all, what are the right steps that I should take? Now, I'm talking about people who are listening to you right now, who have hopes of getting a land or building a house or doing a project. And we have you as a prominent source, or should I say, the right information source that can guide us the right way. So as a professional, tell us, what steps do we take, the layman, the common man, or anybody listening to you now, do they take when they get a land in terms of estate surveying? How to shape, are they supposed to go about it? Tell us about that.
Okay, it's part of some of the things I've said in the past, but you seem to be asking now for more like highlighting it and good points, so to say. One of the key things, the first thing you should do, if you have identified the land, you take an estate surveyor and evaluator identifies the land with you. One of the key things is you need to know the size of that land, the perimeter. Even if it's your land, it does not have a survey plan, you need to now have a survey plan. In that case, either your real estate consultant or the estate surveyor links you up or consults a land surveyor for you. So you know that this is the size of the land. That is the premise upon which you can engage an architect to do a design for you on that land. And actually, what we do in our practice is that once we have been able to say this is the perimeter of the land, we also enable you to know this is the value of that land based on the types you have. And yes, you should know that I have land in X location. It is this size. It is also this value. Because from size to size, the value changes, and from title to title, value changes. So what title is on the land? So those two key things, because it's an asset, you treat that land as an asset. It's an asset. So you know that in that case, you get a value, and you say that, okay, this is the XYZ value of this. Even if you're going to build a condominium, a bungalow, a skyscraper, know what the value, the asset is worth. Now, what can you do with that? Those are investigations that can be done by an estate surveyor by quite a number of people in the industry. But because that's my own profession, so and that's part of what we do in our consultancy units in my office. We look at what is the building, development plan, city development plan in Lagos now. So, and any other place, what is the planning regulation for development area? Is it limited to 2 floors development, or can you do a skyscraper there? What kind of development can you do there? Is it for residential, commercial, or industrial? Because in fact, when you go and build residential in an industrial neighborhood, by the time they start making the noise, nobody will tell you to pack out and leave the place. But to advise you rightly, this is the kind of development you can do there. You need that consultant to give you, that professional to give you that advice. And I would say it's much more better than this of now. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't want to pay for that aspect of the consultancy. But then gradually people are understanding the reason why it's necessary, and some people are actually willing to pay for it. So you look at the title, you look at the unexpired term on it, if it's as such, if it's a leasehold interest, and you look at, okay, what kind of development can I have on this? Those are preliminaries. They are still at conceptualization stage. Now, when you know, oh, I can do a 4-story building on it. It can be residential or commercial. It's either mixed use or whatever. Okay, so you know that yes, this is the kind of development I can do. I can use on it. So you have the fund, or do you have access to funds, maybe through loans and whatever, or through crowdfunding or whatever means to do that. Then you engage a QS to know, okay, or before you engage a QS, you get your architect to look at it. Who does the design? And with that design, for the kind of property you want, that you have agreed with, that you said, okay, I think I can raise funds for this kind of. You do the design. And with your design by the certified architect, you can now say, oh, I need a QS. What's the cost of putting up this design? What's the cost of putting up this design? And by the time you are doing that, of course, you bring in, if it's a major, especially for major projects, you need to do a viability appraisal, which is done by estate surveyors and valuers as well. And you can now say that over time, this is the income stream you want to get from it, and this is the cost. Based on the cost, this is the returns you can get from it, and all of that. You put up the total development value and all that. With that, you can now be set to go, because even if you want to raise in the market or through the banks, your viability appraiser is actually important. It's one of the things they're going to ask for, to see that, well, if you go into this business venture, this development venture, there is a way for you to pay back the loan that you have been given over a certain period of time, as may be agreed with the financiers. So those are basic steps in taking in developing a property. For example, when you are looking at the beginning, when you are looking at the title, if it's a title that you cannot use to do any development, if it's not registered, then the process of registering kicks in. The Lands Bureau is there. You can walk in, you can send your consultant rather to help you look at, yes, how do I perfect my title? Because you need a registered title, in fact, for you to get your building plan approval done. After the architect has drawn it, after you are ready to develop, you know the cost, and you want to do approve your building plan. That planning approval requires you, according to the regulations, to have a title on it, so that they will know that the person that owns the property is the one involved in the development. It's not somebody from unknown person is developing on an unknown person's land. I know, like I said, the land survey has been done. So the coordinates clearly show that you are developing the area where it is attached to the title. So those are critical things that you should be looking at.
Beautiful. Thank you, Mr. Dr. Bamigola. So now you've heard it all. You have a land. You should make sure that you get a professional surveyor to check your land size, give you the value, let you know what kind of assets you have, perfect your title, and just, help you do the right thing so that you can be happy at the end of the day. Thank you so much, sir. That was insightful. Now, very recently in a national publication, you stated that there has been a surge in sales of properties with an increase in the rate of properties since the beginning of 2021. Now, this was in conjunction with the Fort Mainland Bridge, that was planned and being, the government, this new infrastructure the government is bringing all over the country. Now, I want to ask you, how will this influence new opportunities or the viability of real estate? Of course, in that publication, you talked about the surge, you talked about the increase in value of properties around some particular areas. But now we want to tell you the bridge, the Fort Mainland Bridge, and how will it influence new opportunities or the viability of real estate?
Well, the truth is that with improved infrastructure, land value increases in any location. It doesn't even have to be about the Fort Mainland Bridge alone. New infrastructure in an area improves the land value, because one of the things that government will also do as they're improving infrastructure, they're also increasing taxes related to that area. So definitely things have to move upward. I think there's been so much about the Fort Milan Bridge. There's been some progress in its delivery at the preliminary stages so far in recent times. There seems to be some expectation, and that's one of the things that is making prices of property around that area to go up, especially this year. Generally, also, I observe, and I'm trying to do a little bit of research on it. Quite a number of people, quite a lot of transactions have been on the upper side in terms of value. Can we say it is because there's a limit, sort of limit to the opportunity in the money market that's the reason why people are moving in this direction, that look, at least no do, as is said in local parlance. I know that if I buy for X amount, it will still remain there. But with the dollar influence now going up against the naira, in real terms, if you want to look at it competitively over globally, you'll find out that even with the increase in property value, so to say, and a lot of people may not be enjoying the kind of conversion, if you convert it to dollars, the kind of cash in foreign currency that they would have expected, because the management of our dollar, a dollarized economy like ours, in quote, is not leaves a lot of space and leaves nothing to write home about. Now, so you can always expect infrastructure to promote property development. I'll give you an example from the 80s. And I'll use Lagos State Jakande as an example. Part of the things that contributed to the drive towards Ekpe and towards Lekki was the siting of the low-cost housing in that area. And the government started opening up that area. It also opened up road infrastructure was being done and all this. So, so you mean people can live here? I'm sure some Lagosians, some of them still believe that living in Lekki, living on water up to today, like the Sandfield and all that. But then, what led to that movement was because the government of the day then was opening up all the interlands and that coastal side. Same thing happened at Ikorodu, same thing happened towards Ipaja, Apeson, and all those places have evolved today. And today, Lekki axis is the best for it. Ibedu-Lekki is sounding very good for a lot of people. Why? You have almost every market will refer to Dangote as if the Dangote refinery is next door to their estate development. Meanwhile, it is not. By the time you get there, you find that the distance to Dangote refinery is quite a lot. Long journey. So you now see that with infrastructure and such development sited far, development always moves towards it. And even the such infrastructure generates a business around them. It generates a business around them because even those developing that place, they need residences. By the time they stay there throughout the period of 3-4 years, why can't my family be here? And you know, the family is there, and you are growing other businesses there, either trading, either supermarkets are coming up, retail outlets, soon offices will be sited there. So that's the sort of thing that really happens with infrastructure development. And that's what might also be happening, or should also be happening with both on the Lekki axis or the Aja axis and Ikorodu axis, with the birthing of the Fort Milan Bridge. Those things will be progressive, they will continue to improve gradually. I was talking to someone recently, who said that, look, Bayeku in Ikorodu is water. Well, I don't know whether it's water. That's, of course, you know, the palace, local palace, look, they are also feeling one thing or the other and all that. But the land value is higher than some other places. And that's because it's related to the landing of the Fort Mainland. So many other things, but even generally in the market, like I said, it seems that there's been some influx of funds and some people are buying properties and all that. Like I did, I've done a study, but I'm still expecting the results soon, so I can be able to see that these are the key indicators from professionals that is driving further increase in property. But one key one is the issue of, hey, let me be able to achieve at least part of the dollar value that I had before on property. So that is part of it.
Beautiful. Wow. Infrastructure gives a boomer effect, or should I say a boomerang effect, when it comes to trading, when it comes to economy, when it comes to profit. Oh my God. I hope we actually have more of that. Now, we're rounding off today's show, but we have one last question to ask you. In 2008, you created a value chain of services for Nigerians in the real estate sector, the totality of which is called Bambola Consulting. So could you please tell us more about Bambola Consulting, what it's all about and what you do?
Bambola Consulting, we're chartered estate surveyors, and we're also estate surveyors of valuers registered in Nigeria. We have 2 partners for now, and we are recruiting. Well, I like to say that we're recruiting. But what I'm just saying is we are a partnership, and we are looking at people joining with us because we are all focused about growth. It's not a one-man show. Maybe the main face, there are other people that work behind the scene. I can do this because some other people are busy handling some other things. And that's why I could, also be chairman and have a bit of comfort that yes, the office is still there. So we are basically into real estate consultancy from the aspect of valuation. And we've done quite a lot, even if affecting some key developments and infrastructure development in the Southwest when we participated in, and indeed, the lead consultant to some key projects that was being done in some states in the Southwest. And we led that team and with others in particular states, and it was a successful one, the dualization of the particular road there, and some other projects like that. We work with clientele both in the public and private sector in terms of advisory, valuation, including some other project consultancy, including support for their verification and registration of titles and all that. We are also involved in regular real estate transactions on a regular basis. Real estate leases and sales of properties. But key thing is that we are more into advisory as an organization. We are more into advisory, investment advisory on real estate in particular, in terms of where can you put your funding and how can you divest from one project to the other so that you can follow the trend in terms of making your returns. And we're also going into asset management right now. We are trying to go into that, we're able to provide adequate services in these areas for the general public.
Thank you so very much. We've had a wonderful, insightful session with you. You've been able to talk to us about some of the caution that we should take, some of the new opportunities that youths can take advantage of, and of course, the innovation that we need in the Nigerian real estate sector, Mr. Adedotu Bangbola. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Yes. So we're going to, is there any question? Can we take questions? If you're online and you want to ask questions, this is the minute just before we round up. Do we have anybody who wants to ask Mr. Bangbola 1 or 2 questions? All right. So if we don't have anybody, we're going to say thank you once again, Mr. Adedotu Bangbola. We hope that you keep blazing this trail of competency, excellence, leadership, and delivery where you are, and we are wishing you well. Thank you so much once again. If you're watching us from wherever you are all over the world, thank you for watching Grow Your Wealth with Grow Your Wealth on the Think Mint Nigeria show. We always promise you nothing but the best in terms of effective information that can get you to the next level. We hope to see you soon. If you want to watch this, or if you want to watch any of our past sessions, or if you want to keep a tab with us, please go to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We are Think Mint NG, Think Mint dot NG. You can also keep tabs with me at Oluwakemi_Arewa on my Instagram page. Thank you so much. God bless you. Until we come your way again, keep blazing the trail of new opportunities and innovation in the world of real estate. Bye-bye.
Bye, Kemi. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, sir.
Moses, did you listen?